A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The greatest story ever told. Today, we present Who is Forgiven Most? A drama based on an incident contained in the 7th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Luke. An episode from the greatest life ever lived. The town of Capernaum in the province of Galilee lies on the shore of the Great Lake. And at dawn, when the mist is heaviest, the whole place takes on an eerie feeling. Now, as we peer through the swirling mist, we can see that at the town gate of Capernaum are 2 sentries who stand guard on the night watch. The one trudges back and forth before the gate, while the other leans against it almost defiantly, and as he does so, he taunts his companion by saying,
"Up and back, up and back. The way you patrol, you'd think the elders of the town were up all night to watch you.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
When you've been at this as long as I have, you'll know the night watch is nothing but waiting for dawn. No life. Up all night in the cold and the rain.
Look, Daniel. Off there. Someone's coming along the road.
Where?
Off there. See straight along the road? Seems like a woman. Yes, it is a woman. Strange this time of night. But then it can't mean trouble.
That's what you think.
What harm could a woman possibly do?
The job of a sentry is to watch, to suspect, and to call everything to the elders' attention.
But a lone woman coming into the town. What harm can there be in that?
What harm? Suppose we allow her to come into town, and then it turns out she's a thief. It's possible, you know. And then when she's caught, the elders ask us why she was allowed in, why we didn't stop her. Well, I won't have to do any explaining if I make her explain first.
I still don't see.
Quiet and you will see. Here she comes. Woman.
Yes, sir.
You wish to enter Capernaum?
Yes, sir.
Well, there are a few questions you'll have to answer first. We're pretty careful around here. Where did you come from?
I came from Magdala.
Been walking all night?
Yes, I have.
And why didn't you make the trip in the caravan? Why?
Travel in a caravan takes money.
Oh, no money. The elders won't like that. We have enough poor of our own.
I'm willing and able to work. May I enter now?
Not so fast. Now then, if you set out to walk from Magdala to Capernaum, why didn't you walk by daylight? You could have made it in one day's walk.
There's no law that says I must walk by day and not by night.
Is that so? Benjamin, take over here.
What are you going to do?
Very suspicious, this whole thing. So I'm not taking any chances. Woman, you can explain all this to Simon, the town elder. And I'm telling you now, he's a very strict man. You'd best have a good story for him. Come along. This is Simon's house. Wait here. Simon, I brought... Oh, I'm sorry, mister.
My husband isn't here, Sentry, and he won't return until tomorrow.
Oh, that's bad. I have a case here that needs immediate action. This woman just arrived here under very questionable circumstances.
What is it? What's the trouble?
Well, I wouldn't want to bother you with it, mistress. I'll just keep the woman in the town jail till Simon returns.
Is she a criminal?
But there's nothing wrong here. Believe me, I haven't.
Come along, woman.
No, wait. She looks tired and hungry. Bring her in here.
Oh, without orders from Simon, I couldn't do that.
But must she stay in the jail?
Well, it's the safe place to keep individuals we're not sure of till the elders can decide.
But if she's done nothing wrong, that isn't fair. Sentry, leave her here with me. I promise she'll be here when my husband returns.
I'm not supposed to do that. It's against my orders.
I will take full responsibility for her.
If you say so, mistress. But remember, I don't want to be blamed if she does any harm. I did my duty, remember.
You don't have to worry.
It's not my worry now.
Thank you, mistress. Thank you very much.
Come now, everything will be all right. Do come in. I can tell you're very tired and hungry. So please come in. You're welcome here. My, but you were hungry.
I'm sorry if I ate too much.
If you ate enough to make you feel better, it wasn't too much, believe me. Now, tell me.
I suppose you have to ask. You're wondering why the sentry brought me here?
I'm wondering what I'll tell my husband, Simon, when he returns.
Well, the sentry... He was suspicious, and he was right.
Oh?
I'm not very good. I mean, I wasn't in the past. But then something wonderful happened to me, something no one will believe, no matter how hard I try to convince them.
What happened, my dear?
Someone found a way of reaching into my heart, of showing me how I could find my way back to a good life with decent people.
Well, that's very good.
That's what I thought when I heard the master teach.
The master? Yes, I should have known. I've heard him often. Every time he's come here to Capernaum, he can show anyone how to find a better life. I'm glad for your sake you listened. You believe.
I found out something. It's not easy.
Once you've found your way back, the rest is
Oh,
easy.
no. Oh, people. They don't forget. They refuse to believe that I could change. In Magdala, they laughed at me. And finally, I couldn't stand their taunts any longer, so last night I decided to leave there. And I walked all through the night. And at dawn, when I saw your city gates, I thought, this will be the beginning of something new, and fine and clean for me. But no, as soon as the sentry saw me, he suspected me. There were questions and innuendos. And now I'll have to leave here to try and find another time. But it will only be the same.
Please, my dear, you must not cry. You must not despair.
Will always be the same.
If you feel deep inside that you've changed, it need not be the same.
How can you say that?
Because we will forget about this whole thing.
But your husband...
You've committed no crime here in Capernaum. You've broken no law. My husband can do nothing to you.
But if he knew...
He doesn't have to know. As far as Simon is concerned, you'll be just another serving woman in the house.
You mean you're giving me a place here? I can work. I can earn my way.
If you want it.
If I want it. I do. I do. You're the first one who's given me a chance since I heard the master speak.
Perhaps because I've heard him too. Now you must get some sleep. And when Simon returns, you'll take your place in our household and be just like any of the others. Well, Simon, it's good to have you back. And was your journey successful?
Yes, the usual business. And, of course, seeing my acquaintances, the parties and celebrations. But when all is said and done, home is the best place to be. And with you. Two things I can be sure never change.
Thank you, my dear. Although it is not flattering to say I never change, but home never changes. Because, in fact, we have had a change here.
Oh, really, Sarah? No trouble, I hope.
Nothing's wrong, Simon. It's just that I've taken on a new serving woman while you were away.
Surely you do not call that a great change.
Well, Simon, new servants are usually tense and very much afraid of the man of the house. So please, for my sake, don't say anything while she's serving that will confuse or embarrass her, please.
Is that all? Oh, I'll be very pleasant to her. After all, why not?
Thank you, Simon, because I think she'll be a good addition to the household, and I want to encourage her.
Well, have her start serving the evening meal now, and I'll show you how pleasant I can be.
Oh, thank you, Simon. I knew you'd understand. Now, you will see. Mary, you may serve the meal now.
Yes, mistress.
Remember what I told you, Mary.
Now, woman, you don't have to worry if you don't remember everything the first time. After all, we're all human. We're not perfect. We make our mistakes. We learn. We get better. So you just do your best, my dear, and we'll all get along fine. Right, Sarah?
Oh, yes, of course.
This is the meat.
Thank you. This meat looks very delicious.
Now, Mary, place the tray on the table.
Is that all right, mistress?
Very well done, my dear. And you may leave now. I will call you when I need you.
Thank you.
Well, she didn't seem too much upset. I think she'll make a fine serving woman. Very fine. You see, she tries hard.
I'm happy to hear you say that, dear.
Of course, I can't say I've ever seen her before. Not from our town, is she?
No, Simon.
Would have been better to have taken a woman from among people we know instead of choosing a stranger.
Simon, she's alone here. No family. She needed the place.
Sarah, you're too soft-hearted. But this time, I think you've made a good choice. I think she'll do very well. Did she come with any recommendations from her own town? Many people we might know?
Why, not actually. I just chose her on faith. I believe she's a good woman.
Of course. Tell that by looking at her. Sarah!
What is it, Simon? Why the excitement?
This time we're going to have to outdo ourselves.
Outdo ourselves? What do you mean? What's this all about?
This Parchment Scroll. The last caravan through town delivered it to me. You know who it's from?
No.
From Boaz, the most important merchant in Magdala. He's coming here to visit us for a few days. Well, we must show him the best of everything.
When does he arrive?
Within 2 days. I want you to scour the marketplace for the best of food. He's always bragging about things in Magdala. They have the finest, and they have the best. Well, this is my chance to show him that Capernaum is no wilderness, that we know good food and wine, too.
Of course, Simon. We'll do our best.
You know, there's a little matter of business that may come out of this. Last time I was his guest, he mentioned certain transactions I might undertake for him. It would mean quite a bit to me, so I want to impress him. That's very important.
Simon, you don't have to worry. We'll set you a table that you'll be proud of. Good enough to impress a high priest or even a king.
Very good, my dear, because this is important. Now, you best get started. Remember, you've only 2 days to prepare.
Of course. Mary? Hannah? Quickly. There's a great deal of work to be done. This time you must be very careful, Mary. Simon has a most important guest.
I will do my best, mistress, I promise.
Simon asked especially to have you serve the meal. You see, you've become his favorite already. I knew you could prove yourself.
It was you who gave me the chance.
If I didn't believe in you, I wouldn't have done it. Now, take up the platter of meat.
Yes.
And there. Hold it as I've taught you.
Yes.
That's right. And the important thing is to go in and out of the room quietly. I don't want anything to take Simon's attention from his business talk. Now, come with me. And remember, quietly,
Well, perhaps you can tell me where you've ever tasted better wine than this, huh?
Simon, I must admit it's very good. Very good indeed.
Oh, we in Capernaum pride ourselves on having the best of everything.
Yes?
And as for servants, I'll wager I have one here you couldn't find the like of in all Magdala.
So?
She's efficient and silent, and when she offers you food, you can see she really wants you to enjoy it.
Good.
Why, sometimes... Oh, here she comes now. Just watch.
Sir?
Go on, Boaz. Help yourself to the meat. It's the finest that can be... Boaz, what's the matter?
Simon, what are you trying to do?
Why, Boaz, what is it?
If this is a prank, Simon, the humor escapes me.
Prank? What are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know.
Well, I don't. What's wrong? What is it? Has something in my house offended you?
I really believe you don't know. This woman...
What's the trouble, Boaz?
What you don't know. You really don't know. So this is the serving woman you pride yourself on. Why, she's notorious in Magdala. Yes, Simon, notorious.
Sarah, I was never so humiliated all my life. The way Boaz laughed at me. Then left the house without touching a morsel of food.
I'm very sorry it went wrong, Simon. But there is something I must tell you, even though you may hate me for it. Simon, I knew.
What?
I knew about her all along.
And you kept it from me? You allowed me to be served by such a woman? Sarah.
This woman needed a chance. She needed someone who would be friendly to her. She's changed, I know it. She's a fine woman now, and it's up to us to help.
Fine woman? She's made me the laughing stock of this town. And of Magdala, too. Why, Boaz told me that she was one of the most notorious women there. After I'd boasted about her.
Simon, let us be fair. The woman has done her work well here. You have nothing against her.
Oh, no? I won't take this insult from Boaz lightly. First, get her out of the house. At once.
Please, Simon, I tell you she's a good woman now. She has been ever since she heard the master. I would take an
The
oath.
master? Oh, I see. She told you about the master and you believed her. You became her ally. He spoke a few words and changed this woman's whole life. More of his magic, I suppose.
Please, Simon, don't talk that way about him.
I suppose you'll tell me how I may talk about him?
Simon, listen to me for a moment, please.
Well?
The fact that a woman who was evil changed her whole life after she heard the master speak. Doesn't that prove the power of his words and his teaching?
It proves he has some kind of strange power. I'm going to find out what it is.
What are you going to do, Simon?
I shall invite him to Capernaum tomorrow. Yes, I'll have him in to eat a meal with me. I'll talk to him. Find out what is this strange effect he has on people. Yes, I'll have him here for the evening meal tomorrow.
It will be a great honor to serve him in this house.
One moment, Sarah.
What is it, Simon?
Don't take on any pretensions about this thing. He's not to be treated as an honored guest. Or as a guest at all.
Simon.
Rather, as a person about whom I am curious.
But you can't do that, not to him.
He's to be treated as a tradesman who might eat in the kitchen. After all, they say he was a carpenter. Except that I'll have him in to eat in the main hall with me. There's to be no water for his feet. Or oil for his head.
But, Simon, you...
I don't want him to misunderstand. Think that I consider him an equal. I want only information and the chance to judge this man who works such changes with women like her. As for her, have her out of here before this day is over, you understand?
Simon, please.
This time, Sarah, do as I say.
Yes, Simon. I'm very sorry, my dear.
You did the best you could, mistress. It's not your fault.
When you leave, I will give you enough money to take you far away from here. To some place where you can start again.
I thought I'd made a new life here, but no. Out of nowhere comes someone who recognized me from Magdala. Every place I go, I'll live in fear that tomorrow I'll meet someone from Magdala. Can I go on that way?
I'm sorry, Mary.
There's nothing left for me. No place, no friend. And when I heard the master speak, I believed. It seems that believing is not enough. Changing is not enough.
You must not feel bitter towards him, Mary.
He offered me hope and then snatched it away again.
He offered you hope. That part is true. But he didn't snatch it away. Oh, no. It's the others, the people who can't believe in the forgiveness he teaches. And unfortunately, there are so many who don't believe.
You're right. I'm sorry I spoke harshly of him. And I won't ever forget. Ever.
I know how you feel. And perhaps you can understand how I feel now, being forced to put you out this way.
I'll manage somehow.
It isn't only you. It's Simon and what he intends to do to the master.
The master is coming here?
Yes. And Simon intends to treat him as a tradesman. No water for his feet, no oil for his head, no kiss of welcome, none of the honors or courtesies one extends to a guest. But I shouldn't burden you with this. You have troubles enough of your own.
Master here. Tomorrow.
Yes. And if you wanted to see him, no one could stop you. Perhaps before you go on from here, you might like to hear him again.
Yes, I'll hear him. I will.
Simon, I beg of you, before he arrives, reconsider this. Is it right to treat a good man, a prophet, in such fashion? Please,
Sarah, I have thought about it, all that I intend to. We will be here shortly. Everything will be as I instructed you. That must be him now. He will show him in here.
Simon.
Remember, Sarah, it was you who were responsible for my being insulted. Now do as I tell you. Bring him in.
Yes, Simon. Master.
Quickly, Sarah, bring him in here.
This way, Master.
Sarah, it isn't necessary to bow.
But Yes, Simon.
Master, you will sit here. Good. First, we will eat. Then I wish to discuss certain matters with you. There are questions I wish to ask about the things you preach. But that can wait. Sarah, you may have the meal, sir.
Master!
Who is that bursting in on us this way? You, woman. What are you doing here? Haven't I ordered you to be driven from my house to leave this town?
I'm here to show reverence to one who deserves the highest reverence. Master, I kneel at your feet. I wash your feet.
Woman, you will leave here at once.
Master, you have to let me wash your feet. And if there's no cloth with which to wipe them, then I will wipe them with the hair of my head.
Simon, I ask you, have you ever seen such devotion before? Her tears. She washes his feet with her tears.
The woman's mad.
No, Simon, not mad. Devoted, humble, loving.
Then you're both mad. Master, this answers one question I was going to ask you. You claim to be a prophet. Well, you can't be. Or if you were, you would know what kind of woman this is. You wouldn't allow her to touch your person.
Simon, please.
Don't try to stop me, Sarah. Tell me, Master, is this woman typical of your followers? Are they all sinners? Well, that's what this woman is, a sinner.
Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee.
And I am waiting to hear it, Master.
There was a certain creditor who had 2 debtors. The one owed 500 pence, and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him most?
Love him most? Why, the one whom he forgave the most, of course.
Thou hast rightly judged.
But what has that to do with this woman?
Simon, seest thou this woman?
Master, she was a sinner. She admits as much.
I entered thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears, and wiped them with the hairs of her head. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment.
Master,
Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little.
Master, you forgive me my sins.
Thy sins are forgiven. Thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace.
Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Master, how can you welcome sinners when most of us shun them? Would it not be better to bring your teachings to the good people, the decent people?
They that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. I come not to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance.
Simon, are not his words true? It is not the righteous who need forgiveness, but the sinners. And in a way are not we all sinners? For who is there who is perfect except God?
You're right, Sarah. And the Master is right. I have learned my lesson. Sarah, will you ever forgive me for insulting him as I did?
You had to see him, Simon, to hear him just once.
I thought she was not good enough even to be a serving woman in my house. Yet she showed him proper reverence, while I did not have the decency to do so. I'm ashamed of myself, Sarah.
Poor woman. He served us well, too, for having given her a chance.
Then when Boaz laughed at her, he must have hurt her very deeply. Instead of understanding her and defending her, I drove her from my house. Now I'm sorry that she won't stay. I can't blame her for wanting to go with the Master, to be one of his followers.
Nor can I. She found something in him she never really found before. Full and honest forgiveness.
Sarah, all of us should learn to forgive as the Master does. For no one is too bad to receive forgiveness. And those who are forgiven love most. I shall always remember that woman, Mary of Magdala.
Next week, on this same network at this time, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived.
Greatest story ever told. Presented by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
Tonight we present The Lost Sheep, a drama of repentance and forgiveness based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. Our scene is a hillside just beyond Jerusalem where a crowd is gathered to hear the Master teach. But there are several men there who have not come to learn, only to observe and to criticize. Two such men look around, and then one says,
Yes, Micah, it's true what we heard. You can see them, you can pick them out. Then shall this be allowed to continue, Amos? Whoever it was that said there are more sinners at the Master's feet than there are in the jail of Jerusalem was right. What are you going to do about it? Come, a little closer to the Master. We'll ask him a thing or two. Can asking do it, Amos? If we confront him with the fact that among his followers there are sinners, he may drive them out. If he does that, he'll have lost this reputation he has for kindness and love for all people. Come along. We'll talk to Peter, one of his followers. Peter? Peter?
You call me friend? Can I help you?
Yes, Peter. I'm a man greatly distressed. I'd like to follow the Master, but there's one thing that stands in my way.
Well, if you explain, I may be able to help.
Well, Peter, I've lived in Jerusalem a long time. I know many people. That man there, for instance, his name is Benjamin. The last time I saw him, he was being taken from the court to carry out a sentence for thievery.
I don't know the man, but it's possible.
And there are others here that I recognize, with records equally as bad. How can I follow a teacher who receives sinners? Would I not be losing stature by mixing with them?
The Master can ease your mind about that. Come.
Come, Micah, just the opportunity we've been waiting for.
Master, there's a man among us who would ask you a question. Amos, speak to the Master.
Master? You say you teach the Word of God. Now, that may be, but if so, is it fit that you should teach to sinners? Oh, yes, there are sinners here in our midst, but you do not drive them away. You who teach of good things in God, why do you associate with sinners? Well, Master, can't you answer?
Please, Amos. The Master's thinking about your question. Perhaps even now he's phrasing in his mind a parable, which may help you to understand.
Or perhaps he's trying to act as though he didn't hear me. Oh, I do the same myself when I don't want to answer an embarrassing question.
Amos, if you're going to laugh...
Violence, Peter. Well, Master, what about your friends, the sinners?
Tell him, Master. A parable. He'd understand a parable.
How think ye, if a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, doth he not leave the 99, and goeth into the mountains, and seeketh that which is gone astray?
Joram, you can stop playing that flute now.
I'm sorry, Elisha. But at night when we're out here in the fields, there isn't much else to do.
Well, you should have thought of that before you apprenticed yourself to a shepherd. You wouldn't even be here if my brother hadn't... Oh, never mind. Go back to playing on that flute if you have to.
Elisha.
Yes?
I don't like to ask, but every time you begin to talk about your brother, you never finish what you're saying.
So?
Why?
If you showed as much interest in the sheep as you do in trying to find out about my brother, I'd have more faith in you as a shepherd.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to know.
Well, you won't. Now, if you insist on making some kind of noise, play that flute. But don't talk.
I'm sorry.
Shh, quiet, Tophet, quiet.
Tophet growls there's always something wrong. Prowlers, even foxes.
It's nothing, just a sound in the night.
Maybe I better put out the fire. It's safer in the dark.
There's nothing to be afraid of, I tell you. Now, sit there, quietly.
Yes, Elisha. When I look up at those stars, I think to myself, David once saw those same stars as a shepherd boy, and he grew to be king of Israel. I wonder what it's like to be a king.
Well, that was in other days. Now only Romans are king.
We'll have our own king again one day. You'll see.
And it'll be you, I suppose.
Oh, not me. But it might be another shepherd boy. Why, once my father said... It is something, Elisha.
Tophet, go, after them.
Tophet will scare them away if anything can.
Yes, a good dog and trained to deal with poachers.
But they might hurt him.
No danger of that with Tophet. He's too smart for them. Just wait.
I don't hear anything.
You will.
I don't hear anything yet.
Yeah. There is something wrong. But he couldn't have lost them. Once he's got the scent, he doesn't lose it.
Well, maybe they bribed him with a piece of fresh meat or something.
No, Tophet would rather starve than take food from the hands of a stranger. I trained him that way. Tophet, I told you to get them.
By the way he's acting, you'd think he'd met a friend.
Elisha? Elisha!
My mother. Mother! Is that you?
Yes, Elisha. I was almost lost. If it hadn't been for Tophet, I would have been. I thought I'd never find you.
Well, what are you doing here, wandering the hills at this time of night?
I had to find you, Elisha. It's important. Very important.
Nothing should be important enough to make you leave the cottage at night. Now rest here by the fire and tell me.
In front of the boy.
Well, what's to be said that can't be said in front of the boy?
Please, Elisha, I know how you feel about this certain thing. Ask the boy to leave us.
All right, Mother. Joram.
Yes, Elisha?
Walk off a way, out of hearing. My mother and I want to talk here by the fire. But keep a lookout.
I'll be careful.
It better be. In such darkness, a lamb or two can be lost very easily.
Yes, sir, I'll be careful. I'll be close by if you want me.
Well, Mother, what is it? What do we have to talk about that's so secret?
Elisha, you won't get angry.
How do I know? You haven't even told me what it is. Oh, Mother, not that again.
Before you say anything, listen to me.
I won't do anything for him. If he's in trouble, he'll get out of it himself or rot in jail.
He's not in trouble.
Then what does he want from us? He only comes around when he's done something wrong.
Elisha, listen to me. Your brother Daniel is back.
What?
Even now, he's in the cottage waiting for me to bring him word of what you say.
What does he want?
He only wants to live with us again. He wants a home and a chance to prove that he's able to do his share of the work now.
I don't believe it.
He told me, and I believe it.
The answer is still no.
Elisha.
Mother, I'd do anything for you, but not that. I was the one who worked hard. I stayed here and took care of the flock while Daniel went off and got into all sorts of trouble. Even now, I'm sure he's escaping from the authorities. And as soon as he thinks they're not looking for him anymore, he'll go away as he's gone before.
It's not right to doubt your own brother that way.
I'm only measuring him by the standard he set himself. He's not to be trusted. He's a liar, a cheat, dishonest.
Elisha.
I'm sorry, Mother. I know how it must hurt you to realize it. But Daniel will never have the chance to make a fool of me again. Whatever he wants from now on, he'll work for. And he can start right now, but not in my fields or in my house. I want no part of it.
Your fields, your house, your father's house. He's as much your father's son as you are.
It's a good thing my father never lived to see his favorite son turn out to be a thief.
You won't forgive?
No, I won't.
But if you'd only...
Elisha!
That's Joram. It must be trouble. What is it, Joram? What's happened?
One of the lambs. Lost. I tried to follow it, but I couldn't see.
Foolish boy. I knew I couldn't trust him.
Before you go, Elisha, say your brother can stay.
No, Mother, and I can't talk to you about it any longer. I've got to find the lamb that's lost.
Now, in the middle of the night? Wait till dawn, at least.
It will have strayed too far by that time. I'll have to go searching for it now. Go back to the house, Mother, and have that brother of mine out of there by daylight.
Please, Elisha.
You heard what I said. Have him out of there by morning. Now I have to go. Joram! Joram! Where are you? to be careful, you little fool.
Elisha, I said I'm sorry.
Well, enough talk. Stick to the counting.
I tell you, one of the lambs is lost. Why count?
Because at night the moon on this hill plays tricks. Sometimes the shadow looks like a lamb. And what you thought you saw straying off may well have been nothing. What's the count so far?
88.
Now keep a sharp watch, and I'll single them out and keep the count. 89. Get over there. Go on. 90. 91. 92. 93. That's right, Tophet. Get him in line. 94. 95. 96.
And you see, there are only 3 left. That makes 99. I told you one was missing.
All right, so you told me. If you'd been less busy telling me and more vigilant with the sheep, this wouldn't have happened.
What are you going to do now?
What can I do? Go look for it.
Oh. Well, I could go.
And who'd find you when you got lost? No, you stay with the flock and I'll go.
You're not afraid? Oh, I'd be afraid.
No, I'm not afraid.
What can be dangerous up in the hills at night? Pits to fall into, branches to trip over. You've still got 99 sheep. Why risk your life for one little lamb?
Because it's my work. A shepherd can't allow a lamb to stray out there alone in the night. And if you've ever heard the cry of a lost lamb, you know it's the sorriest sound in the world. No shepherd worthy of his bread and broth would let that happen. I'll go and take Tophet along with me. You watch the others and make sure no more are lost.
All for one lamb. It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense to me. Now stay here and be more careful. Tophet. Joram, if I'm not back by dawn, take the flock down to the cottage. I'll meet you there. But be careful. Is that you, Mama?
Yes, Daniel.
Well, you spoke to Elisha?
Please, Daniel. You have to understand your brother. Being a shepherd and having so much time to himself, he broods a great deal. And in his mind, he makes things seem worse than they really are.
You're trying to tell me that he said no.
He might change his mind.
I know Elisha too well for that.
Daniel.
Maybe I'd better leave. What's the use?
You don't have to leave till dawn. Why not sleep here tonight? And in the morning I'll fix you a hot meal and you'll go refreshed and strong. Stay the night, please.
Could I sleep here? Could I rest, knowing how my own brother feels about me?
Stay for my sake. Please, Daniel.
All right, Mother. Till morning.
You can sleep on the same lambskins your father selected for you when you were a boy. They're still soft and warm, son.
Mama, you're so good to me. Better than I ever deserved. To think of all the trouble I've caused you, the shame.
Now, it was nothing.
Oh, I know how it must have hurt you for everyone to know about me. And you defended me, I know you did.
And why not?
Because I'm no good. No good.
Daniel, you just made a mistake. If you were no good, you'd have gone on making mistakes, but you didn't. You came back. You've changed, I can see it. So don't tell me you're no good. I know better. And now you'll get some sleep. And in the morning you'll go elsewhere. You'll find a place where you can live a good life. Don't worry, Daniel. I have faith in you.
My father, he had faith, too. Remember, Mama, when he used to make Elisha and me stand before him, and he put his hands on our heads and said, "These are the 2 pillars of my house. On them it rests." And now there's only one pillar. Only one, Mama.
Please, Daniel, some sleep. You need that most of all now.
I know, Tophet. It doesn't make sense to call out to a lost lamb as you would to a man, but how else can you make them know you're near? Come on, a little further. Well, Tophet, did you pick up the scent of that lamb? Come on, try. Do you get it, boy? Do you? Good. Go on. Lead the way. Go, Tophet, go. Good boy, Tophet, you found him. Now, if I can get through these bushes and this underbrush. Keep past him, Tophet. Ah, there he is. And now, Tophet, don't scare him any more than he's scared already. Come now. Ah, you don't have to be afraid of me. Come on. Oh, I see now. You're caught on the brambles. Easy now. There, you're free. Tophet, his little heart is beating as hard as a blacksmith's blows. No, nothing to be afraid of. You're safe now. Come. Up you go. Over my shoulder. There. That's right. Good boy, Tophet. You found him. Good boy. Now, let's go back. Home, boy. Home. Tophet! I tripped myself. My back. Can't move. I can't. Tophet. Home. Go home. I said go home. Home. Don't you understand? I need help. Help. He doesn't understand. Go home, Tophet. Get help. I can't move. Go back. Get help. He doesn't understand. He won't leave me. Help. Help.
You'd better eat more, Daniel. It may have to last you all day.
And all the time you keep your eye on the door. You're afraid Elisha will return. He said to get me out by daybreak, didn't he?
Please, Daniel, don't make it any more difficult than it already is. Eat. Oh, Elisha.
Let him come in. I'm not afraid of him.
Please, no harsh words between you and your brother. Come in, Elisha. Come in. Joram. You? Where's Elisha?
Please, Judith, don't be angry with me. I didn't mean to lose the lamb. It just happened.
Didn't Elisha find it? Where is he?
I'm afraid something awful must have happened. He didn't come back. He told me to meet him here with the flock by dawn, and he's not here.
He was supposed to be back this morning?
Yes. He said to meet him here. So I'm sure something's happened.
Wandering the hills in the dark of night, I warned him. Daniel, what do we do?
Do? We'll have to find him.
Well, you know where?
Oh, it's been a long time since I roamed these hills, but not so long that I've forgotten my way. I'll go looking for him.
Oh, find him, Daniel, please. You must.
Of course, Mama. I'll do my best.
You're a good son. And a good brother.
Elisha! Can you hear me? Elisha! Elisha! Where are you? Can you hear me?
Hello there!
Oh.
Hello!
Elisha! Is that you?
It's me! Help! My back! Badly hurt! Help! Can't move!
Don't worry. I'm on the way. Just keep calling. I'll follow your voice. Keep calling.
Here I am. Here. Over here.
I can see you now. It's all right. I can see you now. Elisha, you... What are you doing here, Daniel? I told Mother. Oh,
We can talk about that later. Let me help you. Let me get you home. Mother's worried. Help from you? I don't want your help. Oh, don't be a fool, Elisha. Here, let me help you. Is this the lamb you went searching for? That's the one. You're just like Father in that respect, Elisha. No lamb was ever allowed to suffer. But come, I'll get you home. Mother will be glad to see you. Here, let me help you up.
He's still sleeping in there, Daniel.
Yes, he's hurt. But I've seen men recover from worse. Yes, where I've been, I've seen everything.
And now you're leaving again.
Oh, there wouldn't be any peace for you if I stayed, Mama. You know Elisha. And maybe he's right. Maybe I have no right to come back and expect decent treatment from him. So I'd better go before he wakes.
If you have to go, go in peace, my son. And let me know everywhere you go. Someday things might change. Oh, Daniel.
Mama, please.
Mother?
Elisha's calling.
Go to him. He needs you now.
But wait.
No, Mama. Go to him. You'll hear from me someday. I promise. Goodbye. Mama?
Mother?
Yes, Elisha, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Mother, I was just...
Elisha, please lie still. You need rest now.
His voice. I heard Daniel's voice.
Please. He's gone now.
You mean he's left?
I did as you said, Elisha.
Then you must get him back.
Elisha, did I hear right? Did you say to bring him back?
Yes, Mother. While I was lying here, in pain, I had a chance to think. And I thought differently than I ever have before.
Oh, Elisha.
Last night in the darkness and the danger, I went seeking the lamb that was lost. I left the 99 that was safe and endangered my life for one that had strayed. I almost died to recover it. Yet when I found it, it meant more to me than all the others. So I thought, couldn't I do as much for my own brother?
Oh, Elisha. You can't know what it means to have my two sons together again. The two pillars of my house, even as your father said.
Go. Find it. Tell him that today you and I have recovered not one lost lamb, but two. Go, Mother. Go find my brother. Well, Amos, has the Master's parable any meaning for you? Can't you speak?
Peter, it's not easy for a man to say that he's been wrong.
It's not difficult if a man is honest and humble.
Then I think I've been neither, because I am wrong. I know what the Master sought to tell me in his parable. And I know now why he welcomes sinners who have ceased to sin. For how else shall they change their ways if we don't help them and give them a chance to change? Master,
I've been wrong. These sinners, they are as the lost land.
I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons who need no repentance.
This program was brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Next week on this same network at this time, we'll present As Ye Would That Men Should Do to You, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
The greatest story ever told. A drama based upon an event described in the second chapter of the Gospel according to St. Mark. An event from the greatest life ever lived. Our scene is Galilee. And as we look toward the horizon, we see that this is, for the most part, a country of sloping green hills and fields carefully plowed and tended. But we can see, too, that not all of Galilee is fertile. For there, almost at the horizon, the green of the fields becomes sparse. And there the earth is neither moist nor rich, but dry, and it crumbles at the touch for want of water. And it is for this reason that we see men busily engaged in the work of digging an irrigation ditch. And as we draw close to them, we can hear not only the sounds of their work, but the voice of a man Hiram, who is responsible for all this activity.
Dig a little faster, man. Time means everything now.
But, Hiram, they're working as fast as they can.
Joab, they will have to work faster. This is no time to argue.
You know, Hiram, sometimes I wonder if this can work at all.
If the Romans can transport water by their aqueduct, then we can do it by means of these tile drains. And if we can, think how much more productive this land will be for the farmers who work so hard on it now and get so little.
Hiram, the plan is a good one. I don't doubt that. But you must face reality. If it rains, our work can all be for nothing. The ditches will again be filled in with mud. We'll have to start all over. That would be disastrous.
Is it my fault that the tiles didn't come from the pottery? Am I to blame that the work was held up? Well, am I?
Hiram, what's the trouble now? Have you taken to arguing with Joab, too?
Oh, Deborah.
I brought your noonday meal, dear. Is enough here for you, Joab?
No, thank you, Deborah. I don't mind eating with the men. All right, men, time for the midday meal. Knock it off.
Hiram, what's the trouble? You never used to quarrel with Joab.
I know, Deborah. And frankly, it isn't his fault. He only spoke the truth. It could rain today. Clouds on the hill like those usually mean rain, and soon, too.
Well, don't worry about it now. Just rest a while and eat your meal. I've brought some fresh milk and cheese, and I baked those little cakes you like so much.
You don't have to talk, my dear. If you're doing it merely to cheer me up, I can tell you it's futile. Joab was right. Maybe that's why I became so angry.
It couldn't be that alone.
Now you're talking about this morning, aren't you? You think I was angry with you without reason, too? Is that it?
I have said nothing.
You have no need to say anything. Deborah, if only you would understand.
Perhaps it is difficult for me to understand, Hiram. Before, there was always time for the master. But now, since you have begun this project, there is time for nothing except work. You are driven as though by a demon. Can any success be worth it?
Please, my dear, this is a race against time. You heard what Joab said. It might rain. In fact, I'm afraid that it will rain. I couldn't take the time today. I just couldn't. You must understand that.
Why is it that some people always seem to think that the needs of the spirit can wait until everything else is accomplished?
Deborah, I wish you'd not said that, because in my heart I know it's true. I'm sorry. I promise you that the next time we will go. Nothing will stand in the way of our seeing the master. There, Deborah, thunder. It is going to rain. You'd better get back to the house at once.
Well, aren't you coming too, Hiram?
No, I must get the men digging while the rain washes the mud down into the ditches. If we keep at it, we can fight the rain. We must fight it, and we must overcome it.
But, Hiram, you can't. It's impossible.
Go home, Deborah. Go. All right, men. Start working again. This is no time to quit. We'll dig against the rain. We'll overcome the rain. You hear me?
Hiram, you can't do that. There's no sense to it.
You mean we're to stand here and watch the rain ruin all our work?
There's nothing else we can do.
You may quit, all of you, but not me. I'll at least try to dig. I will fight the rain.
Hiram!
No, Deborah, no one can stop him. He is one man who will not listen to reason.
But Joab, look at him. Standing in a ditch full of water and just digging. He'll exhaust himself. He'll wear himself out for no good reason. Hiram!
Deborah.
Please be quiet, Hiram. Just rest, my dear.
What happened? Where am I? It's so dark.
It's almost morning.
Almost morning. But the rain. We must fight the rain.
The rain has stopped.
Oh.
Now just rest quietly. The physician said...
Physician?
Yes. You worked until you collapsed. Joab and I tried to stop you.
Yes, I remember now. But did we... Deborah, did we succeed?
You are to rest.
Tell me, the ditch is filled in by the mud.
The physician said you're not to worry about anything like that now.
I see. Did he say what it was?
He just said you'll have to stay in bed.
Deborah, I have a right to know. What is it?
He said he didn't know.
Oh.
Now, please, dear, go back to sleep. Please.
Yes, Deborah. Tell me, when did the rain stop?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks? You mean that 2 weeks?
Please, dear, you are to rest.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Oh, Hiram.
Deborah?
Yes, dear?
Has the physician left? Did he say anything about my getting out of bed? After all, it's been a long time, 5 weeks. Don must be getting back to my work. I've had much time to think. This time, Deborah, this time I'll do the work differently. And the rain, no matter how strong, will not be able to fill in the ditch. Deborah, what is it, dear?
I can't bear it. Talking about getting up, about working. And all the time the physician,
He doesn't think I'll get well.
He doesn't know. He said there was no more he could do.
But, Deborah...
Oh, I'm sorry, Hiram. I shouldn't have given way. We must not be afraid. This time of all times, we must not be afraid.
But if the physician said...
Hiram, this is a time to have faith. This is a time to believe in the Master, in God. We will pray for him to heal you, and he will. But you must have faith.
And I didn't even go to hear him on that day. I said that it could wait until my work was finished. Have we the right to pray to him now?
We have. And we will. We will be honest in our prayer. We will admit our wrong, and it will help. It must help. Dear God, hear me, please. For I pray to you on behalf of 2 people, my husband and myself. Lord, I ask you to take into account that my husband tried only to do a good thing. Perhaps he tried too hard. And if he did, should that be held against him? Is that any reason why he should be stricken so strangely sick that the physicians can do nothing for him? Lord, we beg your help because we believe you can help. Lord, we... Hiram, it has just come to me. I know what I must do.
What, Deborah?
Once before, we had an opportunity to go to the Master, and we did not. Now that we need his help, can we do any less?
Deborah, what are you talking about?
Hiram, I'm sure that if the Master knew, he would help you. Well, he will know.
How?
I will go to him. I will find out where he is, and I will go to him, and I will plead with him to come here and help you.
Deborah, you sound so sure.
Because I am sure. All I must know now is where I can find him.
Deborah.
Joab.
Deborah, there's news. There's good news.
About the Master?
Yes. This morning a traveler came into town. He said the Master was on the way, that he might be passing through our town tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Then I will speak to him. He will help Hiram. I know he will.
Well, now, of course, Deborah, you mustn't set your hopes too high.
Can anyone set his faith too high?
Now, please, Deborah, listen to me. The Master is coming this way, yes. But if he turns off at the fork in the road, he'll not reach our town at all. He may be going on to Capernaum instead, and you know he visits Capernaum often.
Then tomorrow morning, as soon as it grows light, I will be down at the fork in the road. I will wait for him. He must come this way. He must. He must be approaching now. So many of his followers have already passed this way.
Yes, he has a great many followers.
More each time than the time before. And is it any wonder? To hear him once is to remember him always.
And you're so sure that he can help Hiram?
I know that he can.
Well, I only hope you're right.
Joab, this time of all times, I can't be wrong.
Yes, many others feel the way you do. See how the crowds line the road on both sides of the fork? Why, it's almost as though they might try to force him to go one way or the other.
He must come this way. Our way. He must.
Well, we'll know soon enough. He's approaching now. Just listen to them. Do you see him, Deborah?
Yes. There he is. There. I must get close to him. I must talk to him. Master. Master.
Deborah, wait. No, don't press forward. You'll be trampled by the mob. Deborah.
I must talk to him. Master.
Deborah.
Master.
Deborah, no.
No, Joab, let go of me. Let go of me.
No, you can't go.
Let go. I must see him. Master, I must talk to you. My husband, Hiram. Master, please listen. Listen.
Deborah, here, let me help you up. There now, there. Oh, yes, let me brush the dust from your garment. There, Deborah, there you are.
Oh, Joe.
Now, I told you, Deborah. I told you it was useless to go into the crowd.
I never even got close to him.
Well, the crowd was so great, I begged you not even to try.
Even if I'd been trampled to death, I would have had to try. For Hiram's sake. If only I could have talked to the master, he would have healed him, I know.
Now, please. Now, let me take you home. Now.
The other road. He took the other road.
Deborah, you saw him, did you?
Please, Hiram, just rest.
You must have seen him. I know it, because all the while you were gone, I prayed.
Please, Hiram, you're not to talk. The physicians said...
What the master said, that's what I want to hear. What did he say, Deborah?
The master... Hiram, I didn't even speak to him.
Deborah.
The crowds were too great, I couldn't even come close to him.
Well, don't feel too badly about it, dear.
You're saying that to make me feel better.
Oh, please, dear, you meant well. Maybe we shouldn't have had such faith.
It's not our faith that was wrong. But maybe we shouldn't have expected so much without being willing to do more ourselves. Yes, perhaps that was it. You don't just ask. You must do more than that. More. Hiram, you will see the master if you want to. I promise you that now.
But, Deborah, how? You failed before.
Does that mean that we cannot try again, or that we have no right to? Only tell me one thing. Do you still believe? Do you really believe?
Yes, Deborah. I believe.
Then you will see him. Joab, there is something I want you to do. You were a carpenter once.
Yes?
Could you make a small, light wooden frame for a bed?
Yes, I could, Deborah.
Then begin to make it at once, and it must be ready before dawn.
Before dawn? But why?
This bed must be so light that 4 men can carry it for a long distance.
Long distance? Deborah, what in the world is...
Joab, I have promised Hiram that he will see the master. And he will see him.
But the master is in Capernaum. You know that better than anyone.
Then we must be in Capernaum early in the morning before the master can leave there.
But after what happened, Deborah, how can you expect it'll do any good?
Shall we refuse to pray unless our prayers are answered in advance?
No, of course not.
Then I shall not refuse to have faith merely because I failed once before. The master did not fail me. I failed Hiram. Well, I shall not fail him again. And Gabriel, the leather must be soft, and it must fit across the wooden sides of a bed that can be carried.
A bed that can be carried? Deborah, what is it all about?
I'm taking Hiram to see the master.
To see the master? You think it can help?
I'm sure it can help. So you must do this for me, Gabriel.
If you feel so sure, my dear, I'll do my best. And tomorrow, when you set out, my son Joseph and I, we'll help you carry Hiram. It's the least we can do.
I want you to make 4 iron rings to support a bed by leather straps. We're taking Hiram to see the master at Capernaum.
Deborah, to carry him all that distance.
Yes, boy.
Can it help?
It will help.
I hope so. But now I'd better match your faith with some hard work. And when it comes time to carry him, let me know. After all, who's stronger than a blacksmith?
You must all be so tired.
Tired? Compared to a day at my forge, this is like a holiday. Don't worry about us, Deborah. Just see that Hiram is comfortable.
He's asleep.
Good.
Yes, but with the sun coming up now, it will soon grow hot. And the heat can be very taxing.
I only hope we're not endangering his life in vain.
Joab, it can't be in vain.
Well, we'll do our best. Come on, men. Faster. Faster.
Tell me, where is the master? He is here, isn't he?
I need you ask. Was there ever such a crowd in Capernaum? Yes, he's here. He's in that house, see? The one everybody's crowding around. That's where he is.
Thank you. We'll carry my husband in to see him.
Woman, it's not that simple. The elders of the town are in there. They're talking to the master, questioning him, and they're not too friendly, believe me. I tell you, they don't mean to do him any good. I know.
Still, the master must be my husband.
Well, for your sake, I hope you're right. How you'll get through this crowd, I don't know.
Joab, at least we know he's in that house. We've never been this close before.
All right, men, lift the bed. Right. Let's carry it over there. That's it. Up here we go. Let him through, please.
Let me through. Make way, please. We have a sick man here.
Stop shouting.
Please, make way. My husband is sick. He must see the master.
Will you think your husband is the only sick one? We have all sick. They deserve to be healed, too. But stand back and wait your turn.
They will never let us in. What can we do?
Oh, I don't know.
Deborah, I know what I'd do. Just let me free my hands and I'd tear a path through here. I'd get through all right.
And yet, Boaz, is it fair to push the others aside by force?
Joab's right. We are all equals before God. The master would not condone such force. But that house next to the one the master's in, they might let us in there.
And what good would that do?
Well, if nothing else, we'll keep Hiram out of the sun. It's too hot out here for a sick man.
Well, if you both think it's best.
I do.
Come on, we'll carry him into the house.
Right. That's it. Up. There we go. Steady now. Easy.
Hiram, are you all right?
Yes. And will you let us through here? This time, don't be so disappointed. You take these disappointments far away.
You think I'm resigned to giving up?
Right here.
Not now, Hiram. We're closer to the master now than we've ever been before. We won't give up. Oh, here we are at the door now.
All right. Knock, Deborah. Knock.
Yes? What is it? Please, woman. My husband is a very sick man. May I bring him in to rest till he can see the master?
I can see that he is sick. But if I open my house to the sick, half of Galilee would be in here now. I'm very sorry.
Please. We've carried him all the way from Magdala. He's sick and weak. Unless he can rest a little while, I'm afraid he will die. Please.
Well, for a little while, then. Thank you. Come, Joab. Boaz.
Right. Here we are. All right.
Set him down here.
Until I stepped inside this cool house, I didn't realize how hot it was. Well, Deborah, what do we do now?
I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't.
The best thing seems to be to wait.
To wait, Boaz? It might mean we would never see him. After all, the others wait, too, and how much time does he have?
Who knows?
There must be a way. If only I could get inside that house, even for a moment, to plead with the master, to ask him.
From my balcony, one can see into the next house.
See into it? Woman, may we take my husband up to the balcony?
If you wish. Yes, of course.
Then we'll carry him up. Joab, Boaz, help me.
There, you see? You can look right through the window and see them. And look there, the master. And you can tell they're questioning him, the way they surround him and point accusing fingers at him.
Yes, I can see. If only we could talk to him. If we could have him see Hiram.
Deborah, I could leap across to the other roof if it would help.
No, that wouldn't be enough. Wait, I think I know.
Yes, what, Deborah?
The roof. If we could get through the roof.
Through the roof?
We could talk to him. Hiram could see him.
Now you're making sense. I'll jump across to the other roof.
Well, then what will you do, Boaz?
You'll see, Joab. Just wait. It's a short step. Now. And now watch.
Deborah, look at him. Boaz is actually tearing the roof apart with his bare hands. Why, the strength of the man.
Just look at him. Well, I'm going to help him.
Deborah, what can you do?
Don't stop me. I've got to help Boaz. Boaz, I'll help.
A little more, Deborah, and we'll be through the roof. Just a little more.
I'm doing my best.
What's going on there up on the roof?
The master. I must speak to the master.
Here we are, Deborah. We're through.
Now I'll jump down there.
No, Deborah, you'll hurt yourself.
I don't care. Have Hiram passed over and lowered down after me.
Wait, Deborah.
No, let go of me.
Deborah! No, woman, wait.
Master, I beg of you. You must see my husband. You must make him well. He is a good man, Master, and deserving of help.
Look here, young woman. I am an elder of this town. You will be taken into custody for this. Destroying the roof, forcing your way in here.
I've come to see the master.
He's being questioned now. He has no time for anyone.
He will have time for me. Master, please. You can help. Only you can. My husband, he's ill. They can do nothing for him. Please help me. We've carried him all the way from Magdala because he believes you can help him.
Young woman, I've told you. Leave her alone, sir. Get your hands off her. I've told you. We'll have time to listen to you later. Hand the bed down. Gently, Joab. I'll take it. Good, I've got it. There we are now.
Master, this is my husband. Help him. Help him, please.
Son, thy sins be forgiven thee.
You forgive sins, eh? Well, at last we know. That's blasphemy. That's what it is.
Is it easier to say to the sick, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise and take up thy bed and walk?
Master,
I say unto you, arise and take up your bed and go your way to your house.
Master, yes, Master. I will rise. I will take up my bed. I will walk.
Hiram! Oh, Master! He walked!
Not until now, my dear, have I realized what a blessing it is merely to be able to walk, to be able to stand on my own legs, to feel the earth beneath my feet.
Most of the blessings of God we take for granted unless they are no longer ours. Only then do we realize His goodness.
Have you thought of it, Deborah? What will happen when we return home? The people who saw me carried away from there on my litter, they will see me now as I return strong and healthy. Imagine what they will say and think.
It will be a sign to them. They will know what a good thing strong faith can be.
It was not faith alone, my dear.
Hiram, how can you say that?
Don't think that I minimize, even for an instant, the great miracle the Master has wrought. But faith alone could not have earned it for us. Deborah, it was not only your faith and mine. It took your strength and the fact that you did everything it was humanly possible to do. That was what earned me my chance.
Could I have done any less for you, Hiram?
You will stand as a lesson to all of them, Deborah. We must have faith, yes. But we must do all that we can as well. Then will God reward our faith if we are deserving. This is what we must tell them.
Next week, on this same network at this time, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived.
The Publican, a drama based on an event described in the 9th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Matthew, an event in the greatest life ever lived. Of Capernaum, and in the town, the house of the publican Matthew, where today is an unusual day. For on this day, Matthew is not concerned with collecting taxes, nor with accounting to the Romans for the monies which he has collected for them from his own people. Instead, this is a day of happiness for Matthew, or at least it should be. For now, he talks to the lovely young girl who is his niece. And to judge from the look on Matthew's face, it is a pleasant subject they talk about.
Believe me, Deborah, nothing in the world could have made me as happy as this news about you and Daniel. I want you to know that I've been looking forward to this day. I've been setting aside money for it. Your wedding garments will be the finest that have ever been seen in Capernaum, and now the feast itself must be lavish. I wish your wedding day to be an event that you will never forget. Of course, we cannot expect that there will be many people there.
Please, Uncle, don't say anything.
You would try to spare my feelings. Well, it is time this was talked about. time that one of us said what needs saying. There will be very few guests at your wedding because of me. After all, what am I? A publican. One who collects taxes from my own people to turn over to the Romans. Shall I expect that they will like me for...
Uncle, I wish you wouldn't talk this way.
If I can't talk to you, to whom shall I talk? Somehow, Deborah, if I was sure that you understood, it would help. If you understood what it was like. There was a plague, and your father and mother had both died. And suddenly I was left with a niece who needed food and shelter, and I had no other way to provide for you except to become a publican. It was not what I wanted, but it was the only way that would make it possible.
I know, Uncle. Because of me, your life has been ruined.
Oh, no, it wasn't your fault. But sometimes I get to wondering, is the man's life ruined as long as he's alive and there is hope that he can change?
Uncle?
I've thought about it often. Now I will do it.
Do what, Uncle?
Become a free man, free of the Romans, free of the hatred of my own people.
But can you?
Now that you're being married, I can get along on less. I will find some new way of earning my livelihood. I will take any other kind of work that I can find. Now, surely that should convince people, and I'll do it now. You'll see, Deborah, before your wedding day, we will have many new friends, and on your wedding day, you will have many guests. You will have nothing to be ashamed of.
Uncle, are you sure it can be done?
It can be done. In fact, I will go to see the Roman commander at once.
Well, Matthew, don't stand there mumbling. If you've something to say, come out with it. What's troubling you?
Caius, sir, I would like to explain...
Look, Matthew, if there's something wrong with your accounts of the tax monies, that's the one thing that can't be discussed. Your accounts are either right or wrong. There are no explanations that Rome would accept.
The accounts are right down to the very last coin, sir.
Then what are you trembling about?
Sir, I have served you Romans faithfully for a great many years.
And you've been paid well for it.
Oh, I don't deny that. I don't deny that it was for the money that I did it.
Well, then?
Sir, I wouldn't want the Roman authorities to think that there's anything wrong, but I might as well say it. I wish to resign from my office.
A tax collector for the Romans resign.
This is no laughing matter to me. It's a very serious step.
Oh, there's no doubt of that. We'll examine everything you own at once.
But why? I've been honest in my dealings with you.
Matthew, you must know that you'll never get another position.
Oh, but I will.
Indeed. Well, if you do, you'll be the first man who's collected taxes for the Romans and been rewarded with a job by your own people. No, I don't believe it. What's more, I think that you've been systematically stealing money from the tax collections, so that now you can afford to resign and never work again.
No, sir, you don't understand it. It's my niece. It's the wedding, that's what...
Niece, wedding, man, are you out of your head?
Please, sir, please listen to me and try to understand. Every day for years now, you've seen me at my place by the roadside collecting the road taxes and carefully noting in the scrolls the amount of the collections, every single coin accounted for. How can you accuse me of cheating?
I'll say one thing for you. If you have been cheating, you've been very skillful at it.
But I haven't been cheating. Please understand. I've spent my life giving her everything that she wanted. And now in this most important time of her life, I realize that the one thing I haven't been able to give her is a good name. And so I'm resigning. For her sake and for my own. I'll show everyone that I'm not a Roman sympathizer at heart.
So, fine appreciation for what we Romans have done for you.
What you've done for me, you've made me an outcast. No one will speak to me. No one will associate with me. That's what working for the Romans has done for me. They think of me as a traitor.
And now you're going to change all that, eh?
Yes. I can get along on little now that my niece is leaving. I'll find some kind of work that will give me enough to live on.
Good. Very good, Matthew. I'm glad to see that you've got the courage and the strength to take such a drastic step in order to reestablish yourself in the community. Of course, if you should change your mind and decide that this is the work you like best after all, well, we'll always have a place waiting for you here.
I'll never come back here.
Of course. But your position will still be waiting for you. After all, it's the least we can do for our friends.
Well, Matthew, what do you want here? I've done nothing wrong. Besides, your interest is in the road collections. You can't come prying into my affairs. Or have you been promoted to the collection of other taxes?
Samuel, I've not come here to discuss taxes with you.
You haven't? Oh, good.
No, Samuel, it's a far different matter that brings me. You see, I need help.
Indeed. Well, what is it? What's wrong?
Samuel, for a long time now, I've been doing work for the Romans.
Well, I know that.
Of course, and although you don't sympathize with what I've been doing, believe me, there were reasons. A man doesn't do things like this without compelling reasons, but all that has changed now. I'm no longer a publican.
How nice.
But what's that to do with me? Well, Samuel, say what you will about the Romans, you must know how exacting they are. I've had fine training. I can keep records and books as accurately as anyone.
Well, that must be a great satisfaction to you, I'm sure.
Now, the point of my visit here is this. Samuel, would you give me a position?
Matthew, I have no use for any additional help.
But everyone knows how much your business has prospered in the last few years. Surely you could make room for one more man, a capable man?
Yes, my business has prospered, and I intend to see that it goes on prospering. And one way to make sure is not to hire any friends of the Romans.
But I'm no friend of theirs, I tell you.
There never was a publican in this land who was considered anything but a traitor. And I don't associate with traitors, nor do I give them work. Is that clear?
But I've changed, Samuel.
Changed? The thorns on a rose never change, neither do traitors. Now you'll do me a great favor by leaving here at once. After all, I have my reputation to think of.
You must understand. I'm sure you will.
Understand what, Matthew?
Well, your caravans carry produce for the Roman armies. You do a great deal of business with them.
And if I do?
Well, then surely you must understand the position that I'm in now.
Make yourself clear, Matthew. What is it? Is there something wrong? Or is it that you've got some bit of secret news that you're willing to dispose of for a price?
I've never been a spy.
Then what brings you here?
No one will believe me, but I think that you will understand. Because, after all, you did practically the same thing.
What did I do?
You worked for the Romans, too, and since you...
Wait. Hold on a moment, Matthew. Are you attempting to put me in the same class with you?
Well, after all, we both earn our livelihoods working for the Romans.
You know, Matthew, I don't feel flattered being put in the same class with you, so if that's all you've come to say, get out.
See, Jerem, a job is what I mean. I can work hard for you. I can relieve you of a great many details which will give you more time for other profitable business.
I'm sorry, Matthew.
And you can trust me, Aaron. I'm honest. No one has ever denied that.
No one ever discusses the honesty of traitors. It's like talking about rainfall in the desert. I'm sorry, Matthew.
And I thought you would understand.
Then you were mistaken. Now, let's get one matter straight. I work for the Romans, that's true. But I take money from them. You take money from your own people for the Romans. There's a difference, Matthew. A very big difference.
And you don't think a man can change?
I don't even care. I'm in a pretty delicate situation as it is, Matthew. I don't take risks for anyone. To hire you would be such a risk. Sorry.
Michael, you must understand.
Whenever someone tells me I must understand, I know immediately that it's something others don't understand. If you come seeking a favor, Matthew, you must know that there's little I can do.
You mean there's little you can do for me, don't you?
If you choose to phrase it that way.
Michael, you're a respected man in this community. A word from you can mean a great deal.
A word, some sort of magic word?
Michael, have you ever known me to do a single dishonest act in all my life?
What's the purpose of such a question, Matthew?
If you vouch for me, then I might be able to get a job. Everyone respects you and your word. Just tell them that I'm honest and decent.
Matthew, let me give you a little insight into a great secret of getting along with people. If you would have people respect your word, don't give it too freely.
What do you mean?
Why do people regard my word so highly? I'll tell you why. Because they've never been disappointed in what I've said. And again, why? Because I never give my word on anything or anyone. Is that clear?
But I know of several occasions when you vouched for people.
Matthew, how can I vouch for you when you call me a liar?
But I didn't call you a liar.
You didn't use the word straight out, but you did contradict me. You see, Matthew, it's quite impossible for me to vouch for someone like you, much as I'd like to.
You wouldn't like to at all. You're toying with me when I'm in trouble. I need help and you don't want to give it to me. And inwardly you're laughing at me. You're being cruel, Michael.
Perhaps your friends, the Romans, will be kinder to you. Matthew, get out of here.
Oh, Deborah, I've tried.
Oh, no, Uncle.
It's as though I've been a thief. No one trusts me. No one believes. You tell me, Deborah, have I been a traitor? Have I been a friend of the Romans? Every day for years now you've seen me, heard me speak. Have I ever uttered one word that can be interpreted as treason toward our people?
Oh, no, Uncle, no.
How can people be so cruel?
Uncle.
Yes, Deborah.
Maybe Daniel's father could help.
No, it wouldn't be right. I don't want to jeopardize your happiness, never that.
But if Daniel is willing to marry me, surely his father should be willing to be understanding about you.
He's the one man I won't go to. No, Deborah, when you marry, I want you to cut your ties with me. I want you to try to forget me, forget that I'm your uncle.
After all you've done for me, this whole thing is really my fault in a way.
Why? Because you wanted a wedding like other girls had. There's nothing to apologize for.
You took the job in the first place to earn money to take care of me. You tried to leave it because you thought it would help me, and I... Uncle, I don't deserve you.
No. We won't have tears. In this life, when you make one mistake, you're finished. There's no beginning. No one wants to understand or forgive. Well, I don't want you to do the same thing that I did, so you will marry Daniel. You will live your own life. Your children must never know about me.
You won't even come to see it?
Shame is one possession I'm selfish about. I'll share it with no one.
And your reward for all the years of sacrifice will be living alone the rest of your life? That isn't fair.
Nor is it fair to attach this stigma to your children yet unborn. You know the Roman was cleverer than I gave him credit for. He knew what he was talking about. I'll go back. I'll take the job that's waiting.
Matthew, so you're back. How nice to see you again.
Please, sir, don't be too cruel. I'm a beaten man. Don't make it worse.
So you've changed your mind, Matthew. Back. How nice to see you again.
Please, sir, don't be too cruel. I'm a beaten man. Don't make it worse.
So you've changed your mind, Matthew. Is it a job you're thinking of?
Well, you said it would be waiting for me.
Oh, so I did.
Well, shall I begin at my usual place?
Your usual place, yes. But not at your usual fee.
But, sir...
You see, there were some things you said just before you left that I didn't like, so we'll take something off for that.
But the work will be the same.
Only the pay will be different. Now, do you want the job under those conditions, or don't you?
You know I have no alternative.
Good. And if you make any mention to anyone of this little change in your remuneration, it will go hard with you. Do I make myself clear?
I think I know what you mean, Caius.
Oh, well, I'll go out by the road and take your accustomed place and begin your collecting. And be careful today.
If you think I deliberately make any mistakes...
Oh, I didn't mean that. It just happens that there are great crowds passing on the road today. That man, what do they call him? The master. He's supposed to be coming this way, and the road's are clogged with people wanting to see him. So things will be more difficult than usual today.
The master?
Matthew, you listen to me.
I wonder.
So, you turned to him, too.
I didn't say that, did I?
You didn't have to say it. Just let one of your people get into trouble, you go to him for help. Tell me, Matthew, all those things they say about you, about curing people, raising the dead, all that. Is it true?
I've heard, as you've heard, but I haven't seen. Yet somehow I feel that maybe it is true.
Matthew, if you have any ideas that he can help you, forget them. None of your people would have anything to do with the likes of you, least of all such a prophet as the master. Now get on with your job, Matthew.
And as soon as you pay your taxes, you'll be allowed to move on. So stand back, wait your turn.
Roman, please! Bring up!
Roman, George, stand back. No more of your comments. You think I do this because I want to?
What is it, Matthew? Have you lost your zest for the job?
Oh, Caius, you were right about the huge crowds. I have more than I can do to keep them in line.
I don't think there's any excuse. If any of them slip by, I'll take the taxes out of your pay, do you hear?
Yes, I hear. Now then, first... Please, I'm trying to do what I can to make it easier and quicker for you all. If you'll only cooperate...
What's the matter with it? Look there and you'll see. It's what I told you. The master. He's coming this way. You see there, they're clearing a path for him.
The master, yes. Yes, I see.
Well, never mind that now. You'll do your job. You'll go on collecting taxes.
But the master, I must speak to him. I must ask him if he couldn't forgive a man like
You'll
me.
sit where you are, Matthew. You'll do what I tell you to.
Please, this one time I'd like to ask him, sir. I'd like to find out.
Collect the taxes, I say, else you'll find out what Roman retribution can be like. You don't do your job.
Yes, sir. It seems that nothing can help me. Nothing. I'm a man doomed to be hated and disgusted and thwarted all my life. My one chance, and I can't take advantage of it.
That's very touching, Matthew, but people are waiting. Collect the taxes.
Yes, Caius, I'll collect the taxes. What else is there for me in life? Work for the Romans, be hated by your own. Give up what little family you have, that's my lot. All right. Next. What's wrong now? Why are they all going so quiet?
No, I don't like it. There is something wrong. Something strange. Look.
The master. Coming toward us. Coming with a little stand. Guys, what should I do?
Ask him for taxes, of course.
Don't joke about such things. Wait. Maybe this is my chance. Maybe this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Master, there is something I must ask you.
Follow me.
Did you hear? Follow me. It's what the master said. He said it to me, to Matthew, the publican. Did you hear? All of you, did you hear? You who scorned me, who shunned me, did you hear? The master himself said for me to follow him.
Matthew, where are you going?
To follow him. To follow him as he asked.
And I order you to come back.
Not this time and never again. I've been freed from the slavery of fear about money and of the fear of being despised. I go to follow him.
Matthew,
come back. Come back. In the name of Rome, I order you, come back.
Gone. He's gone.
disciple John, and you were Peter. I was glad to know you all, and you must try to be friendly toward me, please.
Matthew, the Master has chosen you. If you've been accepted by him, surely you can expect no less from us.
Yes, Matthew. You should do the same as us. Oh, I'm not the same, Peter, for I'm a man loathed and hated here in Capernaum. But from now on, things will be different. There is one thing that I must do before I leave here. The Master and all of you, you'll have the evening meal in my home. It'll be the last meal in my home, but you must all be there, and I shall invite all those who shamed me and let them see that the Master has forgiven me. And maybe they will forgive too.
Is there much else to prepare? Peter and I could help.
Oh, John, I've already disgraced the Master. The good people I've invited, they wouldn't come. And the others, the ones who would accept, they aren't good enough to eat at the same table with the Master, even as I am not.
Never say that, Matthew. The Master shames no one. And if the meal is prepared, then you should invite the hungry to share it with us. Go, Matthew. Invite all those who would come and share the feast with us. Don't judge them. Invite them.
Yes, John. Yes. John, I can see now what you meant. The Master turns from no man, no matter how low his station in life.
One can look about this table and guess the things these men have done.
Some have the shifty eyes of thieves.
Others, the hard faces of disbelievers. And still others, the heightened and worried look of those who are afraid of the world.
And yet the Master breaks bread with them and treats no man of them with disrespect.
Because he thinks not of the past, but of the present and the future. There's no man here who cannot be a good man. And with help and understanding, there will be good men one day.
Deborah, please, I have an honored guest here for the last meal to be served in my home.
Please, Uncle, listen to me. It's important.
I feel you seem almost on the verge of tears. What is it? The wedding, Daniel? Is something wrong? And just when I thought that everything would be all right.
Uncle, I've heard. The Master has chosen you to follow, and you've been forgiven, I know, but unfortunately others have heard too. That's why I'm here.
What do you mean, child?
They're coming here. The important men in the town, Samuel, Aaron, the elders, they're coming here now.
They are? That's good. For they'll see that I eat at the same table with the Master.
But you don't understand. They're coming here to confront the Master, to accuse him, to do you harm.
You're still not satisfied? They want to go on persecuting me?
Don't be afraid, Matthew.
Yes, let them come. The Master has faced angry mobs before, and men of authority. Don't be afraid, Matthew. You have brothers now. More brothers.
See them?
Deborah, with my newfound friends, I'm not afraid. I let them in. Samuel, Aaron, welcome to my home. Where is he? Where is this man who claims to be a prophet and is a friend of publicans and sinners at the same time? There he sits at the head of the table. What do you want with him? Master, you call yourself a prophet, a teacher of goodness and right. And yet there's not a man here at this table with you that we don't know to be a publican or a thief or an irreligious man. If you've come to raise them to the status of honored men, then you're not wanted in this town, not by us. No. You understand? Samuel, that's no way to address the Master. His actions earn him that kind of address. Well, Master, you persist in honoring these people. If not, we have a feast prepared for you. We, the honorable citizens of Capernaum. Make your choice now.
They that are whole have no need of the physician, but they that are sick. I come not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
What is this strange soul?
No answer. Get into this. Drive him out of town.
No, wait, my friend, wait. Let's not lose our tempers. There's a good deal in what he says. And haven't we seen it? Matthew wanted to give up being a publican. But we wouldn't help him. I wouldn't give him a job. We forced him to go back to the Romans.
That much is true, yes.
If we had helped him as the master did, he would have changed. He wanted to, you know that.
Yes.
Master, if you can, forgive us our angry words. Forgive us. And, Matthew, would you forgive me?
Oh, gladly, Samuel. Gladly.
Next week on this same network at this time, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived.
United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service, the voice of information and education.
The greatest story ever told.
Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tonight we present The Figure at the Door, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In the town of Gabara in Galilee, two men stand watch a safe distance away from a great house. Their eyes are fixed on the door of that house, and suddenly it is opened. A face peers out, and then the door is shut instantly. One of the two watching men says to the other,
"There, Malachi. You see?" "Yes, sir. It was Simeon's servant who opened the door and peered out."
"Exactly. And did you notice how furtively it was done?"
"Yes, I noticed that."
"Good. That was all I wanted. Someone else to watch and see, and confirm my feeling about this thing. Now come. We shall go back to the marketplace.
Yes,
Come along.
Sir, if I might ask, why did you take me from my work to have me stand there and watch Simeon's house with you?
Because I had to make sure. Now that I am sure, the whole thing is quite clear to me.
What thing?
You couldn't figure it out, could you? But I have.
What, sir?
It occurred to me almost 2 weeks ago. That's the day the caravan arrived from Egypt. Usually Simeon would be down there in the marketplace trying to buy the best of everything, bidding against me. But he wasn't. I mocked that fact. Then I began watching and thinking. I hadn't seen Simeon since then. Have you?
No, sir.
Well, then I asked myself, why? Why is he never seen any more? You know as well as I that Simeon is the kind of man who likes to strut in public, who likes to appear in better garments than those I wear.
It's true he's vain. True, too, that he vies with you for public attention and favor.
Well, that makes the mystery all the more baffling. Why should such a man not appear in public for 2 whole weeks?
Perhaps he's ill, sir.
Then why should his illness be kept a secret? Unless my good friend Simeon has fallen victim to leprosy.
What?
Yes, Malachi, I'm sure of it. I'm sure Simeon is a victim of leprosy and is hiding in his own home, cared for by his own loyal servant, so no one else will discover it.
If it's true, it's too bad, sir. Too bad.
I don't know about that.
Sir, what do you mean?
Well, once and for all, it will settle the question of who is the leading citizen in this town. Once this is known, he'll be forced to leave here and wander the roads like all the other lepers. Then only one man will be spoken of as great here in Gabara. That will be me.
Sir, might I suggest...
Quiet, Malachi. Let me think. Now, we can do something about Simeon. We can tell the town authorities. They'd drag him out. They'd expel him from the town. Yes. I'll talk to them.
Please, sir, don't do it.
And why not?
In the first place, it might not be true. And in the second place, if it is true, then Simeon needs help, not expulsion from the town.
You would say that. Too soft. That's your trouble, Malachi.
At least promise me not to do it for several days.
Several days? Why? What difference would it make?
Sir, the thing I mention now may not seem connected with this, but it is. And I was going to speak to you about it today in any event, so now is a good time.
Good time for what?
Ethan, could you advance to me some of the money I shall earn in the next few weeks?
An advance of money? You, Malachi? I've never heard you ask for that before.
No, sir. I'm an old man. I live alone. My needs are simple, but this time I do need money.
Of course you shall have it, Malachi.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But wait. You've aroused my curiosity. Why do you need it?
Well, sir, the master will be coming here to Gabara again. It is the first time in a long time, and it would be the greatest moment of my life should he and his apostles deign to come to my house to have the evening meal, even spend the night. Surely nothing could ever happen to me that would be greater than that.
I see. Malachi, tell me, this master, he seems to be gaining in popularity all the time, doesn't he?
If you're trying to say, sir, that more people follow his way, yes, they do.
It's a thought. Very interesting thought.
Sir?
Nothing, Malachi. Nothing for you to worry about.
I shall have the money, though.
Yes, you shall have the money. Tomorrow. Remind me of it tomorrow, Malachi.
Sir. Ethan.
Huh? Oh, Malachi. Well, what is it this time? Something you've come across in the marketplace?
No, sir. Just that the day is almost over, and you've said nothing about what we talked of yesterday.
Oh, you mean the money?
Yes, sir. The way you've been wrapped in thought all day, I don't wonder you forgot. Is something troubling you, sir?
Malachi, do you believe in dreams?
Dreams? Oh, what do you mean? Do I believe?
Can a dream mean anything? Oh, I know there are stories in the scriptures about dreams, Pharaoh's dreams, others. But could a dream of great meaning happen to me? Could it?
Who knows where dreams come from?
But the meaning of a dream. How does one determine that?
I don't know.
It was the strangest kind of dream. I was in my home. It was night. I was alone. And there came a knock on the door. I went to answer. I called out, "Enter."
And the door opened?
No. The door didn't open. Suddenly, I could see through the door, as though it had become transparent. There stood a man there, in a long robe, covered with dust as though he'd traveled far. I could see him, but he couldn't see me, and I could see his face clearly. It was a kind face, with deep and gentle eyes. Then I saw him knock on the door again. Again I called out to him, "Enter." But he looked at the door, and then began to walk away slowly, sorrowfully. What could such a dream mean?
I don't know, sir.
I've had dreams that come and are forgotten with the light of day. But this one, it troubled me, awoke me, had been with me all day. Well, it's no worry of yours. Now then, what were you asking?
The advance of money, Ethan.
Oh, yes. Tell me, Malachi, would you insist on having the master at your home?
Insist? Of course not. I could only invite him to share what I have. One doesn't insist. Not with him.
I didn't mean that. I mean, suppose you didn't invite him.
Oh, but I must. I'm an old man. I may not be here the next time the master comes to Kabara. So that I must invite him this time, else it may never be.
If it was a matter of doing him honor, it could be arranged in another way.
How, sir?
Suppose that there were a great feast in my house, and the master and the apostles you spoke of were invited there. You would be there, too. You could honor him in that way.
You would invite the master to your house?
Why not? Think how it would enhance my standing in this town, now that he has come to be accepted by so many. You know, I'll even invite Simeon. Perhaps when he fails to appear, it will cause others to ask the same question I asked. Perhaps that's a way of bringing his condition to light without even saying a word to anyone.
Please, sir, you don't understand. One doesn't act in that fashion toward the master.
Malachi, I shall invite the master. I shall have a huge feast. Everyone will be there. You too.
No, sir.
Malachi.
I couldn't be there. I couldn't be witness to what you propose to do.
I see. You realize, of course, that the advance of money you requested will not be forthcoming.
I realize that now.
However, I will not withdraw my invitation. You are still welcome to pay honor to the master at my house, at the great feast.
I understand, sir.
Ethan, is there anything else you wish to have done about the feast? Ethan?
Oh, what is it, my dear?
I was talking about the feast, but it seems you have something else on your mind.
No, it's nothing.
Ethan, last night as you slept, did you dream?
What makes you ask that, Ruth?
You called out. Not once, but several times.
I called out?
Yes, dear. You kept calling, "Enter, come in, the door is open," such things as that. First you spoke softly, then your calls became angry, and finally frantic.
I see.
If there's something troubling you, you could tell me.
Oh, it's only a dream. I've had it once before. It means nothing.
Surely if it meant nothing, it wouldn't have disturbed you so.
I tell you it means nothing. Now, the final plans for the feast. Of food there must be plenty. More than enough to satisfy everyone who will be here. And did you dispatch the servant to extend a special invitation to Simeon?
Yes, but I wondered. Ethan, why do you invite Simeon this time? Ordinarily, you don't like to have him here. I don't understand.
Because I invite him doesn't mean he'll be here. As a matter of fact, that might be just the reason I did invite him.
That's a very curious thing.
You see, it works even with you. Right now, this moment, you're wondering why Simeon won't be here, even though I invited him. Admit it, you are.
Yes? Now tell me what this is all about.
You'll find out in time, my dear, in time. Yes, it's perfect. And now about the seating arrangements for the feast. Simeon shall have a place of honor close by the master. After all, the more people's eyes dwell on the empty seat, the more their minds will question why Simeon isn't here. So remember, Simeon's place shall be one on the side of the master, and I will sit on the other. Who could that? Oh, wait, I know. I dispatched the boys at the town gate to wait till the master and his friends arrived. Must be the boy. Come in. Well, Reuben, did you see him? Who is this man with you, Reuben?
Sir,
He is one of the master's closest friends. I asked him to come with me to hear the invitation from you yourself. His name, sir, is Peter.
Peter, eh? Welcome to my house. Ethan is my name.
God be with you, Ethan. Now, what was it this very excited lad tried to tell me? He was so excited I could almost see his heart pounding in his chest.
It's good you came. You can see for yourself that this is one of the finest homes in Gabara. Perhaps then my invitation will mean more to you. I should like to invite your master and all his apostles to feast with me here this evening, and to spend the night.
It's very kind of you to invite us, sir. Wandering the country as we do, we have a high regard for warm and friendly hospitality.
Ethan's house is open to all who need shelter.
Thank you. Now I must go.
But wait. I must have an answer from you.
I shall take your invitation to the master. Have no fear of that.
Then he will be here.
I can only take your message to him. He shall decide.
I see.
Now, may I leave?
Of course. Strange man. I don't know if I like him.
But why? He seemed a kind man with a good, strong, honest face.
Oh, it wasn't his face. It was his bearing, his attitude. I don't know.
You expected that he'd bow and scrape and show you great respect for having invited the master here. Is that it?
Now, Ruth, don't judge me. Just do as I say. Preparations will go forward.
Even though you've had no answer yet?
The master will be here. They'll all be here. Where else in this town could they be so well fed? The feast will be held, and they will be here. Yes, David. You and your wife must enjoy this evening. That's why I invited you here. It must be an evening to remember. Of course, Ethan. That's right. Mingle with all the guests. Till the guest of honor arrives. I'll see you later. Ruth.
Yes, dear.
Have you been to the front door again?
Yes, Ethan.
No sign of the master? No sign of any of his followers?
No, Ethan.
Not even that one, Peter?
None of them.
Can't understand it. It's late. Even past the hour when I'd expected that the feast would begin. I tell from looking at their faces that even the guests are beginning to sense there's something wrong.
Perhaps he isn't coming, Ethan.
He'll be here. He must. Maybe there's something wrong with the door.
What are you saying, Ethan?
I must go and see.
Go and see?
Come with
Ethan,
me to the door. You may think me mad, but it could happen.
What could happen?
Come and see.
Yes, dear. Ethan, I'm looking at the door. What's wrong with it?
I must open it to show you. Here.
Well, Ethan, what's wrong? How different is the door now than it's ever been before?
I don't know.
Ethan, what is it? You're pale and fearful?
I don't know if I ought to tell you.
If you can tell anyone, it should be me.
Yes. Yes, dear. Last night, the same dream again. The man knocking. I bidding him to enter, and he didn't. Again, I could see him through the door as though it were transparent. And I could see him disappear. Yet last night, the dream was different. After he had gone, I went to the door. I opened it. And I found that the latch on the outside of our door was gone. Not there at all.
Gone?
Yes. It was as though there never had been a latch on the door.
What a strange thing to dream.
That's why. Well, I thought, oh, it can't have anything to do with it. The latch is there. The other guests found it. It's foolish, very foolish. Except...
Yes, dear?
In the dream, after I discovered the latch was missing from the outside of the door, I ran out. I followed the figure down the street. I called to him. I asked him to return. And he turned to me and said something and walked on.
What did he say?
What's the trouble? I can't remember. I just can't remember. Well, we might as well go back into the main hall and wait with our guests.
But if the master doesn't arrive...
He must arrive. We'll wait.
Ethan, the way everyone looks and whispers. It's long past mealtime. They know there's something wrong.
Yes.
The master won't be here. You must admit that now.
Yes, I'm afraid so. It would have been so perfect. The master here and Simeon not here. Had it happened, then even Malachi would have appreciated what I wanted to do. As a matter... Wait. Malachi.
What of Malachi?
He isn't here, is he?
No. But then would you invite a mere clerk to such a feast?
I did invite him this time, and he isn't here. Nor is the master here. Wait. This thing is beginning to make sense to me at last. Ruth, I'm going out.
Leave a house full of guests, a great feast waiting to be served? How can you?
I'm going out. I think I know where this master is. And if he is there, then Malachi will pay for this little bit of treachery. Yes, you'll pay.
Please, Ethan, just because your pride is hurt, don't do anything to Malachi. He was your father's clerk and friend even before you were born.
That doesn't give him the privilege of making a fool of me. I'm going to find out if my suspicions are true. And if they are, Malachi will suffer for this.
Yes, friend, who... Ethan.
Yes, Malachi. It's me.
Why, Ethan, what are you doing here?
Don't pretend you don't know. Let me in.
Oh, no, Ethan, I'm afraid I can't do that. The master is here and he teaches. I shouldn't want a man as angry as you are to burst in at such a moment.
Then he is here, just as I thought. Despite the fact that you knew I wanted him to feast at my house, you invited him here.
That's the strange part, Ethan. I didn't invite him.
You didn't invite him, yet he's here? How do you explain that?
He came to me. He asked to eat here, to spend the night here.
And I suppose you spread a lavish feast for him, quite by chance, too.
Feast? We had only bread and some milk. But the master seemed quite satisfied with such a little.
He came here of his own choice to eat bread and milk, when he knew I had a great feast prepared for him. I don't believe it.
I give you my word.
Malachi, I think you lie.
Ethan, please.
And not only do I think so, but I shall accuse you to your own friend, the master. I shall tell him what kind of treacherous man you are.
Ethan, you're making a great mistake.
Stand aside, Malachi.
Ethan, no. Don't go in there. Don't do it, please. Ethan!
Master! Master, I must talk to you.
Sir, please. Master's in the midst of teaching.
You, Peter, I recognize you, even if you don't remember me. I'm the man who invited the master to a feast at my house.
I remember.
But he wasn't there.
He chose this place, sir.
So I understand. And I want to know why.
The master is not called upon to explain his actions to anyone, save to a power greater than any on this earth.
Perhaps you don't think so, but I do. Master, I don't know which one you are. I've never seen you before. But they say you prize very highly truth and virtue, and honesty and faith. Yet you have chosen to come here to the house of a man who is dishonest, in preference to coming to my house.
Ethan, you shouldn't have said that.
You lied to me only a moment ago, standing there at the door.
But I didn't lie. I said the master asked to come here, and he did.
That's right, he did. I know that, Ethan.
I don't believe it. Not unless I hear it from the master. Which one is he that I may ask him for myself?
There, Ethan. There is the master.
Well then, master,
No. Ethan, what is it?
No, it can't be. It can't be.
Ethan, you look faint. You tremble. So what is it?
You wouldn't believe me. No one would.
What is it, man?
No, Peter. No, Malachi, it can't be.
Please, Ethan, what is it?
No, let go of me. Let me out of here. Let me go.
Ethan, wait! Ethan, wait. Please. That's right. Wait for me.
Well, Malachi, what do you want of me?
Oh, Ethan, I'm glad you waited. I couldn't let you go feeling as you did.
No. I'm convinced the master chose to come to your house without invitation. I know that now.
Is that what made you turn pale and tremble? Made you run from my house like a guilty man?
Was it so obvious?
Yes, Ethan. Now, tell me. Why?
Those dreams I had. The figure at the door. The figure that knocked and wouldn't enter when I invited him. That figure was the master. I knew it when I saw his face this evening.
Oh.
And as I looked upon the master's face, the words spoken to me in the dream all came back suddenly. I heard them as clearly as I heard them in my dream.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will eat with him, and he with me.
That's what I heard in my dream. And he was the figure. I see. Malachi, there was more. In the dream, there was no handle on the outside of my door. Why? Can you tell me, Malachi?
I'm beginning to understand. In the dream, it was a door. But in your own self, it is your heart. Just as in the dream, the door could only be opened from within because there was no latch on the outside. So your heart cannot admit the Master unless you open it to him from within yourself. The latch to a man's heart is within him.
Yes. Now I know what the dream meant to tell me. I'm just not worthy. Not worthy at all. Good night, Malachi.
No, wait.
You yourself said it's something which must come from within a man. And I failed that way.
No man has failed till he gives up. You're not lost.
What can I do? How can I open my heart to the Master?
By goodwill toward the Master and toward others. By overcoming hatred. By forgiving. By living a good life in keeping with his word.
I see. I only threw wide the doors of my great house to him. I tried to tempt him with lavish foods. But he chose to eat bread and milk in your house, where there is kindness and goodwill and a benevolent spirit. He chose well, Malachi. I'm not worthy. I only meant to enhance my prestige by the Master's presence. I meant, too, to do harm to Simeon. And in spite of that, you say I'm not lost?
No, Ethan. There's still time and still a chance to change.
You really think so?
Yes.
How? Some act, some good deed, some... Wait. I know.
Yes, Ethan. Has something occurred to you?
If I could bring myself to do it.
You mean Simeon?
Yes. You said yourself it's help that he needs, not expulsion from the town. Well, I could bring him to your house, to the Master. He'd find help there.
That's right, Ethan.
But you know how I've always hated Simeon.
Then, isn't this the best time to open your soul from within to Simeon and to the Master as well? Isn't it, Ethan?
Yes, Malachi. Yes. Though it'd be difficult for me to do it, I will. I shall go to Simeon's house now and bring him back. The Master shall cure him, and me too. You see, the door to my heart is beginning to open already. Yes, with his words.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him.
One
You have been listening to The Figure at the Door, another episode in the greatest story ever told, from the greatest life ever lived.
The greatest story ever told. Today, we present The Parable of the Sower, a drama based on a teaching in the 8th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Luke, a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In ancient times, the swiftest form of travel was to be found in the beautiful and majestic Roman galleys which moved across the glistening blue waters of the great sea. Yet the Roman galleys were nothing more than slave ships. And below their decks, there was no majesty, no beauty, not for the men whose backs power the oars, and who spent their lives chained to their benches. And even when such a vessel was anchored in port, these men remained below decks, prisoners of their chains. So it is now that in the port which served the city of Rome, a galley rides at anchor. And we find 2 galley slaves straining to see what they can of the great city from their place below decks.
Reuben, can you see anything through the oar vent? Well, Samuel, when I bend over this way, I can see. Well, what does Rome look like? I can't tell much. Oh, wait. No, that's as far forward as I can bend with these chains. Just a harbor like any other.
All right, Sentry. Which one is he?
That's the one, sir. That one there.
Me?
Sentry, if you're looking for the one who called for the water yesterday, I'm the one you want. And if there's punishment due, it's mine. Leave this man alone.
Quiet. And now, you.
Yes, sir.
Is your name Samuel? Are you from Cana, the province of Galilee?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, Sentry. Unlock his chain.
Sir, what is it? What's going to happen to me?
I don't know. I get orders and I carry them out. You're wanted on shore. Come on, Sentry, take off his chain.
Yes, sir.
They take my friend Samuel, my only friend. Take him away 2 days ago to kill him in cold blood. And why? Did he ever do anything to anyone?
No.
I tell you, if I could ever...
You there!
Me? What do you want? I haven't broken the rules.
So you don't know me. I wondered if you would.
Know you? Why should I... Wait. Samuel! You in those fine clothes, clean and dressed like a citizen of Rome?
Yes, Reuben.
I don't believe what I see. What happened to you?
I can hardly believe it myself. I'm free. Free. The man whose testimony sent me here, he confessed he was lying, so I was set free. And the property I once had, the property that was confiscated, it's been returned to me.
Like a miracle. It is, Samuel.
I'm glad I had a chance to come back to see you before the galley sailed from here, because I've got something to say to you. To all you men. Now, men, though I'm dressed in fine clothes now, I shall bear the marks of the chains on my wrists and my legs. And those marks are a bond between all of you and me. I'll never forget that I pulled an oar alongside you for 4 years. Now I shall have my farm in Galilee again. Well, any of you are sure of a welcome there. If it be only for a meal to tide you over, or for a night's sleep, or for work if you can't find it elsewhere. Remember that. All you have to do is show me your marks. That'll be enough for me.
Samuel, you're back at last.
And it was your doing, Deborah. I know it.
Oh, Samuel.
Except for you, they would have forgotten about me. Though I were innocent, I would have died in the galleys.
All that is over now. You must forget it, all of it.
It may be over, but I will never be able to forget it. I'll remember every scar and how I got it. It's not easy to forget such a living death.
Samuel, there's one thing you must promise me now that you're back. That you will not hate. That you will forgive everyone who was involved.
Even the man whose lies sent me to the galleys?
Even him.
It is not possible.
Samuel, listen to me. While you've been away, a wonderful thing has happened here in Galilee. A new teacher. A new prophet. Yes, a Messiah has come to us.
A Messiah?
Yes, the Messiah. And as soon as you are rested and have regained your health, you will go to hear him teach. But through him you will find a way to forgive even that man whose lies sent you to the gallows.
Oh, Deborah, within myself, I couldn't find willingness to forgive any of them. But because you say it's possible, I will believe it. For without your love to sustain me, without your faith to give me strength, I couldn't have lived through all this. We shall go to hear him teach because you believe it.
Samuel, it's time to put out the lamp. Time for you to sleep. There'll be another day's work tomorrow.
What, Deborah?
Oh, you still think about it, don't you?
Every so often. It was the same time of year they first came for me, remember?
Will I ever forget?
We were sitting here in this very house, the two of us. And there came that knocking on the door. Caesar's sentries. And they took me away.
But that was 5 years ago. Sam, you've been home almost a year. Can't you ever forget?
Who knows? Every so often I get to think... Deborah.
No, Samuel, it can't be that again. I'll open the door. One moment. What do you want?
Does a man named Samuel live here?
Yes, he does.
Well, tell him that Reuben is here.
Reuben! Oh, how good to see you again. Come in.
Well, you see, Samuel, I have friends here with me.
Well, bring them in, all of them. Deborah, these men were my friends in the galley. Food. All the food we have for them. Come in, friends. Come in. The house is yours.
It turned out to be quite an eventful evening, didn't it?
Such hungry men. You would think they had not eaten in weeks.
Believe me, it did my heart good to see them eat the way they did. You don't know what it was like there.
I can imagine. Samuel, will they be staying with us long?
As long as they want to.
All four of them?
I gave them my word.
Oh?
When I left the galleys, I promised them there'd be work here for them. A home. Forever if they wanted it.
But they're criminals.
They were my friends. They deserve a chance, just as I would have.
But you were different. You were innocent.
They wouldn't be near it now if I hadn't rescued that Roman officer when the ship was wrecked. That's how they won their freedom. You see, they've changed. And we can help them change even more. Now, don't worry. Nothing will happen. We'll all get along fine. In fact, the next time the master comes here to Cana, and we go to hear him, they'll go with us to listen to him. To follow his teaching. You'll see.
I hope so.
May I have a little more yet? That's delicious.
This was by far the finest day's work we've done, men.
Well, at that, it's easier than breaking your back as a galley slave, right, Kitty?
Who would know better than we, Reuben?
Well, I guess you men have been wondering what happens to all the produce we've been raising here.
We know it goes to market, Samuel.
But you never see any of the money. Is that it?
It's not our place to ask questions, is it, man?
Well, I know good work when I see it. And I know deserving men, too. So tomorrow we're having a bit of a holiday here.
Holiday?
Yes, the master is coming to Cana. I thought you men would like to go with Deborah and me to hear him.
You mean to be talked at, preached at? I've heard too much preaching in my time.
Don't be a fool, Matthias. Of course, we'll all go.
Good. For it will give you the chance to go into the town, too. And that's where the money comes in. Deborah, bring the pottery jar here.
The jar?
Yes, of course. Bring it here at once.
All right, my dear, one moment.
Each of you is to have some money.
Why, what is that?
When a man gets to town, he finds things he'd like to buy. I want you to have the money you'll need.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Samuel. But don't think it's necessary, after all. Your kindness is reward enough for us.
Here, Samuel.
Ah, thank you. Now, let's pour out some of these coins.
Wow.
That's quite a bit of money there, eh, Samuel? Enough. And now for the shares. Reuben, thank you. And yours, Gideon.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Far more than I deserve.
Matthias.
Thank you.
And Ezra.
Thank you very much, Samuel, and bless you.
No need to thank me. Any of you would have done the same. And now, Deborah, you can put the jar back.
Yes, Samuel.
Well, friends, tomorrow we rise a little later, and then we set out for the town. Good night to all of you.
Good night, Samuel.
Samuel, the morning meal will be... Oh, Ezra.
Pardon, mistress. I was up earlier than the others. I thought you might need help in the kitchen.
No, thank you, Ezra. Though it is nice of you to offer.
You've wood enough? Water enough?
Yes, everything. Tell me, Ezra, what did you do?
You mean the galleys? How?
If you want to tell me.
I don't mind. I was young, alone, no family. I worked what I could. When I couldn't, I stole. That's how.
Oh, I see.
If anybody had ever been this decent and kind to me before, it never would have happened. Your husband is a kind man, understanding, and brave, too.
Brave?
Only a brave man would take a chance on men like us.
Deborah, is everything ready? We don't want to be late, not to hear the master. Oh, good morning, Ezra.
Morning, Samuel.
Are the others up there?
They should be. I called to them as I left the room. Reuben answered, and so did Matthias.
What is it, Ezra?
I just thought of something. There wasn't any answer from Gideon. Well, maybe he was still asleep. I'll go find out. I'll go.
What's the matter with him, Deborah?
I don't know. But he did seem upset. Where could Gideon have gone? Why should Ezra be so worried about him?
I don't know. I'll find out. Ezra! Ezra! Gideon!
Reuben, I couldn't find him.
Neither could I. What do you think, Samuel? Well, he was free to leave any time at all. He didn't have to sneak away.
I think maybe...
Yes, Ezra?
Reuben, Matthias, don't think badly of me because I accuse another man, but Samuel, the money jar. Have you looked at it this morning?
No, I haven't. Deborah, the money jar.
Yes, dear, I'll get it.
Well, we'll know soon enough now. Deborah?
Samuel, I went to look.
Well, where is it?
Gone. It's pretty obvious now, my dear. Gideon gone, the money jar gone.
Why, the ingrate. If I could find him, I'd teach him to abuse decency, to take advantage of hospitality. Imagine acting this way in the face of your kindness.
Well, I will admit I'm rather surprised.
Not nearly as surprised as Gideon will be.
Why do you say that, Deborah?
Last night, when you took out the jar, when you showed the money, I was afraid this might happen. So before I put the jar back, I took the money out and put in stone.
Oh?
Yes, Gideon has betrayed himself for nothing.
It'll serve the fool right. I always suspected that, Gideon. The oily way he talked, the compliments he used to pass out so freely. Well, I'm glad we've discovered him for what he is.
And thanks to Deborah, at no loss either. Well, my friends, we shouldn't let this one unfortunate incident stop us. We've a day to spend in Cana, a day to hear the master. Are you ready?
Samuel, Deborah, I've never heard such teaching before in all my life. Never seen such a person as the master. One has but to look at him to feel his strength, his compassion.
Ezra, that's why I was so anxious for you to be here.
If only I'd heard such teaching long ago.
It's not too late, Ezra. It never is. For the master forgives those worthy of forgiveness. But wait, he's ready to speak again.
Be ye merciful, as your Father also is merciful. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again.
Well said. Very well said.
And now, Ezra, I think that's all the teaching for this day.
Oh?
For the master stepped down from the rock where he stood.
The teaching is over, you're sure?
Yes. See, the crowd disperses. Well, we must get back before dark.
Yes, dear, we should hurry. It's almost dusk now.
Matthias, I'm ready. And Reuben?
Reuben? Why, he's not here.
But he was here. I saw him before. Then I became absorbed in the teaching and forgot about him.
If we wait for him, we'll have to travel most of the way in darkness. And we brought no torch with us.
Yes, my dear. Well, perhaps he remembered something he wished in the marketplace and went back to buy it. He'll find his way home. We should start out now.
Samuel, do you think that perhaps Reuben went back to the house by himself?
You mean he wasn't feeling well?
I don't mean that.
You think? Oh, no, Deborah, not Reuben. Why, he's my closest friend. In the galleys, we were chained to the same oar for 2 years.
I only thought...
You mean because Gideon turned out that way? Well, that doesn't mean we'll have to suspect Reuben, too. Come on, we'll all start home and hope that Reuben catches up with us on the road. Come.
If we start to look back anymore, Samuel, it'll be dark before we're halfway home.
I can't understand it. Reuben should have caught up with us by now. We haven't been going too fast.
Perhaps he was detained in town.
Deborah, that isn't what you mean at all, is it?
No.
Well, I tell you you're wrong. I'd trust Reuben with anything I have. Now, we'll just walk a little faster. Not that I'm worried. I just want to get home before dark, that's all.
It's sure now that Reuben did not come back because there's no light showing in the house.
Of course it's sure.
Samuel, wait.
Yes, Ezra?
When you left the house, you did latch the door, didn't you?
Of course. Why?
Well, perhaps it's too dark for me to see well, but I think the door is open. It's moving back and forth in the breeze. Isn't that the door?
It is. It is.
Samuel, wait. Wait for us.
Come, Deborah.
Samuel! 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 Samuel!
Look at the place.
Chairs turned over. Cupboards broken open. Things hurled to the floor.
Deborah,
Yes, dear.
the money. Where did you hide it this time?
I'll look.
Behind the loose rock. Is that where? Well?
The money. It's gone.
Reuben. The one I trusted most of all. And he committed this crime while we thought he was listening to the master. Oh, the shame of it.
I'm sorry, Samuel. We're both sorry.
You're sorry. Well, you can save all that, Ezra.
Please.
Quiet. I don't want to hear any more. I took all of you in. I gave the four of you a home where you had no place to sleep. Work where no one else would give you work because you bore the mark of the galleys. And this is the way you repay me. Well, I'm not a man who doesn't learn. Ezra?
Yes, Samuel?
Matthias?
Yes?
Get out of here. And off my land. And never come back. Because if you do, I'll have you back in the hands of the authorities before you know it. Now get out.
Please, Samuel, understand. We didn't have anything to do with this. Well, this place is my home. The only home I ever really had.
Get out. Do you hear me? Get out.
Yes, Samuel. Come, Matthias. We'd better be on our way.
Samuel, please, let me say this. I'm not asking for more than you've already given me. I don't even blame you for the way you feel now. You're right. But I do want to thank you. I don't know what lies ahead for an old man who's spent too many years in the galleys. I do know that what I had here was better than I deserved. So I only want to say thank you. You too, mistress. You're a good woman. God's blessings on you. Come, Ezra.
Samuel, I didn't like to see those two go.
What's the matter with you? First you suspect them all, now you're taking their side. Why?
Because it wasn't their fault. They didn't steal. They didn't use our home to betray us.
Still, I want no part of any of them anymore.
But you've just heard the master teach. Surely this wouldn't be his answer.
How much can a man stand before he strikes back? I gave him a chance.
I know you, Samuel. You have a conscience which will trouble you if you decide later that you did wrong. The master is here in Cana. We could go to his camp this very night and speak to him.
I won't go.
Please, Samuel, for your own peace of mind, come with me. Ask him.
Well, not that I think he'll change my mind, but to please you, I'll go. Because I know you love me and think only of my good.
We've come at a good time. The crowd is gone. The master's with his disciples round the fire. You can feel free to talk to him. Go on.
Yes, Deborah. Master, if I am not intruding, I should like to ask your help. Surely no man ever set out with better intentions than I. Perhaps because I myself bear the marks of a galley slave, because I know the hardship, I opened my home to four men who were criminals. And two of them have deceived me. One stole, one tried to steal. The other two I've driven from my house, barred it against them. I have done the right thing, haven't I, Master?
A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. And some fell upon a rock, and as soon as it was sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. And other fell on good ground, and sprang up and bare fruit 100-fold.
Master, what has a Sower of sea to do with me?
The seed is the word of God. Those by the wayside are they that hear. Then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved.
And the seed which fell on a rock?
They on the rock are they which, when they hear, receive the word with joy. But these have no root, which for a while believe, and in time of temptation fall away.
And the good ground, which are they?
That on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it, and bring forth fruit with patience.
Samuel, don't you see? The Master knows his seeds of truth will find root only with those who have the capacity to receive his word. Yet he does not stop teaching because there are some who reject his teaching.
Yes. I understand now.
Well, then, should you give up doing good? Should you drive good men from your door because a few seeds have fallen by the wayside? Because a few men took advantage of your goodness and returned evil instead?
Deborah, you're right. I've done a cruel thing to them. We should find Ezra and Matthias at once. And, Master, I thank you for showing me my mistake. Come, Deborah. We may still find them. Come.
Surely they would have taken this road.
I think so. It leads from the town toward the sea. It's the way they choose.
Oh, I hope we're not too late.
If only this torch gave a brighter light. I'll hold it higher. There.
Samuel.
Yes?
Hold the torch up again. There, by the side of the road. I'm sure there were two men.
We'll find out. Ezra! Matthias! Do you hear me?
They've stopped.
Ezra, is that you?
Yes, Samuel. We took nothing with us. You can search us if you like.
Wait, Ezra. I haven't accused you of anything like that, have I?
What do you want with us? To tell us once more that we were thieves, that no one will ever trust us again?
I don't blame you for feeling bitter, Ezra. Nor you, Matthias.
I'm an old man. I've seen everything and learned to expect anything. Now let us go in peace.
No, wait. Listen to me. The fault was mine. To expect perfection where even the Master does not expect it. Because two men betrayed me, I withdrew my kindness and friendship from all four of you. Because Reuben and Gideon repaid good with evil, shouldn't have blinded me to the fact that my kindness did find root in the two of you. Can you forgive me for what I said to you, for driving you away from my house? Would you come back with Deborah and me? Would we?
Matthias, what do you think?
Oh, it would be home now, Ezra.
Home. Yes. Samuel, we will go back with you.
Good. Good. Did you hear that, Deborah? We're all going home together. Together.
Next week, on this same network at this time, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived.